Hare Krishna. So, some of you, of course, I've been here since, when did we arrive here? Oh, July 2nd. We arrived here July 2nd, and since that time I've had the ability to have sadhu sangha every day. I think 3 classes here in this temple, a few classes at Soho Street, and then we did a class in East London. Was it East London last night? Very, very wonderful group of devotees there. Very enthusiastic, nice devotees. Everything we do, of course, Srila Prabhupada, this whole society is about sadhu sangha, association with sadhus, with devotees. From the very beginning, when Srila Prabhupada came, 1965, established ISKCON, 1966, it's to be giving devotees the ability to have nice association. We say my wife and I, we were just in 26 2nd Avenue just a few weeks ago. And at that time we saw a sign, handwritten by Srila Prabhupada on a piece of A4 paper, the guidelines for his new devotees. He was just initiating devotees. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. At that time, he initiated almost anyone if they had been in the temple for a few weeks. We were in Australia last month, the month of May, different cities in Australia. It was the 50th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada in Australia. He went to Perth, Australia. He went to Melbourne, Australia. So we were there, and devotees were telling us in Sydney, when he was there in Sydney, 1971, they had a group of devotees who had been in the temple 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Srila Prabhupada was giving them initiation. And at that time, there were even a few people that had come to the temple. They were in the temple for a few days. Srila Prabhupada gave them first initiation. We know nowadays, of course, things are very different. Sometimes you have to wait a long time even to get first initiation by some of my godbrothers, long time. But at that time, Srila Prabhupada was giving initiation very freely. Why was that? He knew the potency of the holy name, the potency of giving devotees association, just like giving sannyas initiation. You knew what he said. Even there's no one qualified. He said, just like in the army, when there's war, no one qualified to be lieutenant, admiral. He said, but every 4th person you make one, and they have to rise to the occasion. Prabhupada giving initiation in the beginning, just like in Australia, after a few days. This was 1971, not 1966. But now he was in Australia. His mission was to see people all over the world chanting Hare Krishna, as Lord Chaitanya predicted. So he was ready and willing to do whatever was required to see that that happened. He took that service, that seva from his spiritual master. I was thinking, I was here, last time I was here was 15 years ago. At that time, I had lived here in this place from 2003 up until 2010, April 2010. When I came here with Srila Prabhupada, it was 1973, 52 years ago, when George Harrison had bought this estate for Srila Prabhupada, for the devotees. They were looking where to stay, nice place for the devotees. So fortunately, George Helpton, they had this place. Nice place for devotees to stay. Have sadhu sangha all the time. Sometimes you'll see advertisements, kirtan melas, sadhu sanghas. In the U.S., they have sadhu sangha now every year, kirtan mela for a weekend. 3,000-4,000 people will come. And I'll be traveling, sometimes we'll be traveling, and they ask, are you going to the sadhu sangha? I say, we're living in Vrindavan. Sadhu sangha all the time in Vrindavan. You're all here. There's sadhu sangha all the time, if you want it. And if you know who to go for sadhu sangha, who can help you in becoming Krishna conscious. That's what's important. And I was thinking, this place, how important is this place? I'm beginning to realize, after so many years, just like we say in spiritual life, there's perfect, more perfect, most perfect. Sometimes people will ask me, when you were with Srila Prabhupada, what was the most wonderful thing? And I think, how can I come up with one thing? Everything was wonderful. Every day was wonderful. Every day was difficult to be with the pure devotee. Not easy. That's sadhu sangha. Who can take that sadhu sangha every minute, every second, 24 hours a day, every day, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, to be with the pure devotee? Not easy. We take our sadhu sangha in portions. We'll have a little sadhu sangha, just like that. 3 days, everyone comes together, 24-hour kirtan. The real sadhu, pure devotee, his sadhu sangha, kirtan mela every day, every moment of every day. And he gives that to others. Why is Vrindavan Vrindavan? What makes it different than anywhere else in the world? Because Krishna performed his pastimes there. First verse of Bhagavad Gita, first verse is Dharma Kshetra Kura Kshetra. What makes it so special? Why do people go there? Because Krishna was there. His devotees were there. Arjuna was there. Over time, so many people were there. It's a tirtha, a holy place. Vrindavan's a holy place. Everywhere Prabhupada went, established deities. We say, that's Vaikuntha. It's Vrindavan. But then he said, Vrindavan, where Krishna performed his pastimes, non-different. Their lordships here, what are they called? Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda, the residence of Krishna in Gokul, Vrindavan, a place is special. But then Prabhupada said, in Vrindavan, you do 1%. What's it become? Who knows? 100%. He said 100 times. You do little service in Vrindavan, it's magnified 100 times. But if you make offense in Vrindavan, it's also magnified 100 times. That's why the advice is, you go there for a few days where you can be reverent to the land of Vrindavan. Krishna placed his lotus feet. One born there, one lives there, one dies there, liberated. Even though you go to Vrindavan and you may see so many so-called discrepancies, trash in the street, That was there in the 70s. Now everything magnified. Now everything magnified 100 times. Crowd is magnified 100 times. Housing everywhere you go. You wonder, where is the Vrindavan? Where's the forests of Vrindavan? Like that. But Prabhupada's called it replica Vrindavan. He said, still, you're born there, you live there, you die there, you're liberated. Potency is still there. So then I'm thinking of this place. And every place, Srila Prabhupada placed his lotus feet. They're tirthas. They're not ordinary places. Pure devotee. Prabhupada, pure devotee from the spiritual world. Just like Krishna went to Vrindavan. Everywhere he went, 12 forests of Vrindavan, Mathura. Lord Chaitanya, just today I saw devotees wanting to go all around where Lord Chaitanya went. Because they're all tirthas. They're not ordinary places. Back in 1975, Prabhupada called myself, Paramahamsa, into his room. He said, I want to travel around India. He said, I want to get some jeeps, four-wheel drive vehicles, and we'll all travel all the places Lord Chaitanya went. Imagine, he had that desire. Would have taken weeks and weeks, I don't know, months. But he wanted to do it because Lord Chaitanya went to all those places. Of course, he was very, very busy, traveling all around the world again and again and again, 15 times, 10 years, 15 times, to make so many places around the world holy places, tirthas. I was just thinking today, Prabhupada said at Krishna Balaram Mandir, when the temple was there, when he lived there, 1975, 76, 77, his disciples who did service there, sometimes they would go here and there visiting temples. Prabhupada said, where are you? Oh, Prabhupada, I went to Temple of the Goswami, take darshan of the deities, like that. Prabhupada said, I put all the holy places, all the tirthas, in the courtyard of Krishna Balaram Mandir. And I was thinking about that. What did it mean? Is it something he just said? Or was he giving us a hint of who he is? It's not that he did some special ceremony. No, pure devotee. Wherever he went, it's a tirtha. It's as sacred as Vrindavan, as sacred as the places Lord Chaitanya went to. Krishna gives the potency to his devotee even more than who he is. That's what Krishna does, huh? Otherwise, why do we say worship of my devotee? More beneficial than even worshiping me. So today I'm thinking, he said, I put all the holy places in the courtyard. You don't need to go anywhere else. In Vrindavan. Do you understand what that means? This place, same thing. You come here to this temple. You're not just coming to some ISKCON temple somewhere. This is Prabhupada's home. I live in Vrindavan for that reason. Prabhupada said, this is my home. The deities are his deities. Everything about the place, it just filled with Srila Prabhupada's presence. When I came here after 15 years, even I was here 2003, 2010, I would come here occasionally. We would travel to Europe, go to Villa Vrindavan, this place, that place, so many temples. But this place here is not an ordinary place, not an ordinary temple. You come here, you're getting sadhu sangha of Srila Prabhupada. This place is special. So many special places. No, this place is special. I go up those stairs every day, once, twice, whatever, 3 times a day now, up and down the stairs. What do I think of? Prabhupada going up and down those stairs. You see those photographs. Early in the morning, Prabhupada coming down the stairs. Am I in front of him or behind him? Of course I'm behind him. His feet not even touching the ground when that photograph was taken. You can see his feet up in the air as he's getting ready to make the next step. No garland, nothing. 1973. Maybe a dozen people living here. But Prabhupada lived here. He stayed here for 2 months. He walked everywhere around here. His lotus feet touched this ground all over the place. Every room, outside in the fields, through Lechmore Heath. This is like Vrindavan, like Krishna in Vrindavan. You have a very special place here. For me, sometimes not so easy to be here, so many different reasons. But I realize this place is special. You should take advantage of this temple. You should take advantage of coming here, because Prabhupada made this a very special place. He stayed here. He spoke with people every night upstairs in his room. How fortunate is everyone. I see that's what it says. Nice little signs it says there. No talking on the phone. Be very respectful. Knock on the door before you go in. Why knock on the door? Prabhupada's there. And it's open. No lock on the door. You can go in there. Nobody else is in there. You're just there alone with Srila Prabhupada. You can go in his sitting room, go through his bathroom, see him in his bedroom. All the articles he used. Why do we have all these articles? They're not ordinary. Nothing's ordinary here. He installed these deities here. Maybe a few of you were here the other day when I gave class and talked about their installation. Who was here for that? Anyone? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of you here. The only thing I've done since I've come here, what have I done? What do I do here? Talk about Prabhupada. It's all I do. 2.5 months traveling around the world, 8 countries, 25 temples. They all want me to come. Why? Not because they want to see me. They're not interested in me. I came here, I saw that the first day. Nobody knew me. Few people recognized me for Vrindavan. Very few people recognized me from 50 years ago. Otherwise, I had to fight my way to the front just to see the deities. I was on the altar with Srila Prabhupada the day they were installed. Nobody knows, and that's fine. Doesn't matter. But I came here to speak about Srila Prabhupada, just like everywhere I go. Because Prabhupada's special. No one like him. No one like him. No one. Krishna was in Vrindavan, Mathura. Bhaktivedanta, he traveled different places around India. There's no pure devotee came from the spiritual world that has been all over the world. That's Srila Prabhupada. Everywhere he went is a tirtha. Not just the courtyard of Vrindavan, I put all the holy... He brought all the holy places everywhere. And he wanted to impress. He had to impress his own disciples. Because we don't understand who he is. To this day, we still don't understand. People come in here, maybe you offer obeisances, maybe you don't. Maybe you just go up there and offer obeisances. You don't see him sitting there. I remember living here years ago. Hundreds, thousands of people coming, sitting their coats under his Vyasasan. What have we learned 50 years later? I just saw outside, how many people come here for Janmashtami? 70,000. 70,000 come here to see Radha Gokulananda, to walk around the lake, see the pastimes of Krishna. How many understand where all this comes from, right? Who understands? It's all because of Srila Prabhupada. Purified the entire world. Why do you think he went around 15 times? Because he liked flying? No, nobody likes flying. No one likes to get in those airplanes, go through the airports. It was difficult 50 years ago. I remember him getting up on the little wooden steps in the Delhi airport. Just see, he would say, even a sadhu, they're checking. 50 years ago. He was insulted. 50 years ago. Is that how we feel 50 years later? Just some other person that's coming and going, like every other of the 70,000 people that come here? Put a few pounds in the hundi, offer their respects, line up for prasadam. Don't be like that. I don't know who's here regularly, who's not here, who comes on Sundays, who comes 5 times a year for festival days. I don't know. I do know I have many God brothers and God sisters here. I've seen some of them over the course. Those people are special. You may think they're just ordinary people at this point, well, that was then, back then, 50 years ago, they did this, they did that, distributed books, collected tens of thousands of pounds to help establish this place. But now they don't come to the temple, now they're on the outside, now they're in so many things we can think. None of you would be here except for those people. They're not ordinary people. Prabhupada said they're pure devotees. That's what he said, they're pure devotees. When I see them, I can tell they're not ordinary. They're not ordinary. Because Prabhupada loves them very much for everything they've done. They're very special. I've been thinking what to say here this evening. Didn't know who would come. I recognize some faces. I learned this devotee over here. I knew him from a little bit, from 30 years ago. Kind of didn't recognize him, but now we spent some days together. Mataji here, I've gotten to know her. A few other devotees here. They like me. Why? They don't even know me. All they know is I come here and I try to give Srila Prabhupada to everyone. And they like Srila Prabhupada. They love Srila Prabhupada. How do you develop your love of Krishna? Devotees would say, Prabhupada, I have no love for Krishna. I said that to Prabhupada. I have no love for Krishna. Prabhupada said to one of his disciples, I love Krishna. You love me. You love Krishna. Mathematics, that's an equation. 1 + 1, 1. Prabhupada loves Krishna. I love Prabhupada. I love Krishna. Not me, you. How easy it is to develop love of Krishna. Have to develop your love of Srila Prabhupada. But that's not just saying, oh, I love you, Prabhupada. Huh? Like in any relationship, you say, I don't know, you say here, I know in the U.S., in America, see, we say you walk the talk. Not just say things. Oh, yes, I love Krishna. We heard that in India way, way back when. I know Krishna. We were used to preaching whatever we knew, tell people about Krishna. In the West, no one knew anything. There was so much nectar to talk to those people. In India, devotees, oh, they would struggle. Yes, yes, I know Krishna. I know Shiva, I know Buddha, I know Brahma, Saraswati, Kali, Kalki. I went to one house with Srila Prabhupada back in the 70s. Everyone always wanted Prabhupada to come to their house, to bless it. Prabhupada would say, just to get some material prosperity. That's why people go to the sadhus in India. Give me your blessings. He say they simply want material prosperity. Imagine if they thought, yeah, I'll give you my blessings, you surrender. I'll give you blessings to surrender to Krishna, give up everything. Who wants those blessings? Those people don't want those blessings, huh? So we went to this house. They took him into their nice big house, little temple room. Maybe they have a Brahmin they pay, do their deity worship, everything properly that they learned from their parents, who learned from their parents. And we go in the temple, and Prabhupada's looking, and you'll see Krishna and Radha Krishna, and you'll see Saraswati, and you'll see Lord Brahma. Definitely we'll see Lord Shiva there on their altar. One place I went to, they had Lord Jesus on the altar. Just in case all these other ones aren't going to work for me. I worship him too. Put my little, push little chandan on all of them, even Jesus. Maybe Christianity's where it's at. I got to be careful. Get my blessings from everybody. You see Lord Shiva on this altar? You see Lord Shiva on any altar in ISKCON? Greatest devotee. But devotee. Prabhupada said, we worship Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. Krishna. But us, you have to develop your love of Srila Prabhupada first. You can't jump to Krishna. You can't ignore this person who gives you Krishna. Otherwise, you don't have Krishna. You can't bypass Gaur Nitai, Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, Krishna Balaram Mandir. Who knows Krishna Balaram Mandir? Who's been there? Okay, more than it's been in my class the last few days. What's the first thing? You walk into the temple room. Oh, one side, Srila Prabhupada on the Vyasasan. But then if you look at the altar, what altar is there? Shri Gaur Nitai. What else is there? Prabhupada and his Guru Maharaj are there on the altar. He made that arrangement. You go in, you offer your respects to him. The whole disciplic succession, his spiritual master, Gaur Nitai. Then again, you see Krishna Balaram in the center. Their place. That's their home, Krishna Balaram. And then last, Radhashyaama Sundar is there. Of course, in Vrindavan, you see Artik ceremonies, greeting of the deities. Gaur Nitai, 10 people in front. Krishna Balaram, 20 people in front. Radhashyaama Sundar, 200 people in front. Begging flowers, begging for Tulsi. Who are we to approach Radhashyaama Sundar? They're so cheap, you can jump ahead to them. Take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Told you long time ago, when I was here in 1973, dozen devotees here maybe. One of them was a young girl. She was unmarried. This girl, you see this girl in this book, Mekhala Devi. She was just another person trying to become Krishna conscious. Every morning I would be on the morning walk with Srila Prabhupada as he turned all the grounds around here into tirthas, walking through the fields. I don't know what they grow here, wheat, whatever. He would walk through the public paths. Sunflowers, yeah. He would walk on all the public footpaths, this way, that way. His lotus feet purifying everything in this area. So on the morning walk, upstairs there would be a few devotees, brahmacharinis. You still have a brahmacharini ashram here. I'm very happy to hear. Not many places in ISKCON have brahmacharini ashrams anymore. But I believe there's one here. Yeah. So they would clean Prabhupada's room every day. New flowers, fresh towels, fresh bedding, clean the floors, hardwood, beautiful hardwood floors, Prabhupada's sitting room, wash all the floors, do everything. They weren't on the morning walk. They were doing service to Srila Prabhupada because of their love for him. Prabhupada was here 2 months, July, August 73, about 2 months he was here. It was a long time to make this place a tirtha, not just 1-2 days. Even amongst tirthas, there's different levels. He was here 2 months. It's the very last place he went, 1977, when he left India. Just for a week or so, he came here. Then he went back to Vrindavan, 2 months later, gone. But he came here. So special is this place. Take advantage of this place by doing something here. Huh? Not just by coming here, looking at the walls. Do something. You can develop your love of Srila Prabhupada. And if you develop your love of him, have your love for Krishna. That easy. So this one girl, she cleaned Prabhupada's rooms every day. She didn't think much of it. Well, I'm sure she thought much of it. Cleaned Prabhupada's rooms. That was the reward. She didn't clean it for 10 pounds an hour, 20 pounds an hour, whatever the going rate is. She cleaned it as a service, seva. That's what you do. If you want Krishna's blessings, then you don't let him give you anything. Nothing. You force him. I don't want anything but you. I don't want your money. I don't want your houses. I don't want your cars. I just want you. He becomes bound by that. He's only attracted by bhakti. Prabhupada would say, he doesn't need your offering, 6-7 offerings a day. But if that's made with love, that Rajbhog offering is made very, very nice to try to please Krishna. That bhakti attracts him. Otherwise, he said, Krishna's not hungry. He's not hungry for your japatis. So after Prabhupada left, 1 week goes by, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Everyone here had their own room in those days because there's only 10, 15 devotees. So many rooms. Everybody had a room. Other young girls banging on her door. Mekhala, you have a letter from Prabhupada. She was sitting in her room reading, she said. She was reading Prabhupada's books in her spare time. So she opens the door and they're all yelling, letter from Prabhupada, letter from Prabhupada. She thought they were all just teasing her. She never wrote Prabhupada. Prabhupada, you wrote him a letter, you would get her letter back. Otherwise, he didn't just send letters unsolicited to his disciples. So she thought they were all just making fun, making a joke, something. And one's waving aerogram. Know what an aerogram is? The envelope is the letter. Back in those days, by weight, everything by weight. But you could send a letter internationally. Had literally weigh hardly anything. And the letter would be written on or typed on and then sealed, folded and sealed. The stamp was right there on the aerogram. That's how you bought it. So she was handed the letter. Everyone's waiting to see it. Prabhupada wrote her a letter. It was amazing. So they're all waiting. We're all in ecstasy. Just anything to do with Srila Prabhupada would put people in ecstasy. Their love for Srila Prabhupada. They gave their life for Srila Prabhupada. They surrendered to Srila Prabhupada, took initiation from him. We left our homes, we left our schools, we left our scholarships, we left our families, our bank accounts to serve Srila Prabhupada. So she opened the letter and said, "My dear daughter, thank you for cleaning my rooms while I was at Bhaktivedanta Manor." His home, Bhaktivedanta Manor. He said, if you continue to do this, devotional service, you continue to serve in this way, chant your rounds and follow the principles, he said, at the end of this life, you'll go back home, back to Godhead. Imagine. How easy. But what was the key? First thing he said, you continue to do this. Devotional service, service out of devotion, not wanting anything else other than more service. That's what devotional service means. You don't want anything. I just want to serve. And what's your reward for serving? More service. That's what a devotee wants. Don't want anything else. We're traveling around. Part of 80 days, 12 weeks, 11 and a half weeks, 80 days. Told you, so many different places we've stayed. Here, you know where we stay here? Vaikuntha room. We finally made it to Vaikuntha. We stay in Vaikuntha room. Sometimes we're not in Vaikuntha room. Sometimes we're in Middle Earthly Planet room. Sometimes lower planetary rooms. In India, Prabhupada said to me, we're staying in a beautiful place. We all had our own rooms, wealthy person's house. Prabhupada had his room with a bathroom. Secretary has his room with a bathroom. We all marble bathrooms, hot water. That was very opulent. Hot water that somebody didn't take the knob off of like they did in every temple in the world. Not allowed to use hot water. Austerity. Prabhupada called me in. He knew me. He knew everything about me. I've been with him now 3 months. He knew me very well. He called me in, and he knew us Westerners. Prabhupada said, Indians go to the West, they live like Indians. Westerners go to India, they live like Westerners. I saw that in New Jersey, USA, near New York City. One Indian family, beautiful, beautiful house, big kitchen counters, everything. The Mataji, what do you call the head of the family, the Mataji. She's rolling chapatis, sitting on the counter, legs folded. Instead of sitting on the floor doing it, she's cross-legged on the kitchen counter rolling her chapatis. Indian living in the West, live like Indians. Joint families. Everyone, big house. Father, 2 sons, their wives, they all have their own rooms, all in the same house. Westerners don't do like that. So this is all, we have our nature. Huh? We have our nature. Prabhupada called me in. So, Srutikirti, do you like it here? He knew I liked it there. That's why he called me in, just so we could make a point. And me, I'm not very bright. So I fall for whatever he's saying. Yes, Prabhupada, I like it here. Very nice. He said, yes, if Krishna gives us a bed. And he did. He gave me a bed. He said we sleep in the bed. If he doesn't give us a bed, we sleep on the floor. That's devotee. Doesn't ask for anything except service. That's what Prabhupada taught us. So this girl, later on, of course, she got married. She didn't have the best life. Somehow or other, her and I, we got together 2003. And I moved here from the USA. We lived in Bushy. We lived in Bushy for 7 years. And she died of cancer 2010. Stage 4 cancer before she found it. Before they found it. NHS. She hadn't been well for 2 years. They never even took an x-ray. NHS. That was the NHS. I don't know what they do nowadays, but...
They give you an appointment after 2 years.
Huh?
They give you an appointment after 2 years.
Yes, and by then you're dead, so they don't have to fulfill the appointment. That's the point. Anyway, we traveled and traveled and traveled. My book came out, this What is the Difficulty? Prabhupada's first words to me, what is the difficulty? Came out 2006. She had helped me complete it. And we traveled, went to Villa Vrindavan, went to festivals in Ukraine, festivals in Russia, festivals in Lithuania, Baltic Sea Festival. And it's 2008, September. I'm going to be there this year, 17 years later. I'll be at the Baltic Sea Festival in 2 weeks. So we're at the festival and we're having breakfast one day. And she said, she remembered after some hours, she said, I had a dream about Prabhupada last night, early in the morning. Prabhupada likes to come early in the morning, Mangal Arti time. It's when he comes to me, he likes to wake you up for Mangal Arti. She said, he said to me, accept all invitations in Preach to Preach. There's not much time left. And then she woke up. And she's sitting with me, one other devotee. You have a dream about Prabhupada, he gives you an instruction. We take it serious. And we're like, what does that mean? Accept all invitation to speak. Not much time left. 2008. So we thought maybe there'll be a war soon. We're always thinking that soon there's going to be a war. There's always wars, but there's different size wars. Or maybe there'll be an economic collapse. We're always thinking that's going to happen too. Then she looks at me, she's like 50 years old. She says, or maybe I'll be gone. And we're like, nah. That was 2008. Shortly after that, she starts feeling some pain in her hip. It was diagnosed here. She has a pulled ligament. That's what they said, pulled ligament. Every now and then, every month or so, she'd go to the local, whatever, general practitioner. They'd give her some paracetamols, stay off of your leg, things like that. That went on for a long time. And we're traveling and preaching. Why? Prabhupada said, every invitation you get, take it. He didn't say, there's not much time left, go to Vrindavan and chant all day, Hare Krishna. He didn't say that. What was the preaching going on? Talking about his pure devotee. That's valuable. And somehow he's given me that task, that duty, because I was with him a long time. So I can say a lot of things about him. And somehow or other it seems to come out nicely. So that's what we continued to do. In between, we'd come back here. I lived here for 7 years. I never got all I ever had was a tourist visa, because I was always leaving, because you get 6 months whenever you come. So we'd leave, I'd come back. How long you here? Just a few days visiting friends. Stamp your passport. I did that for 7 years. And I learned, how to talk to them. Sometimes they'd ask 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 10 questions, everyone getting a little more intense. And you can't break a sweat, because then they know something's up, Anyway, it worked. But we travel back and forth to India, go to these temples, speak, festivals, speak for a week about Srila Prabhupada. I remember one of the last ones, it was New Mayapur. I was speaking, spoke for about an hour, and she was standing on the side, sitting on the side, saying, just stop. I can't take the pain. We still didn't know what it was. Today we went to St. Albans. It was just before we finally took her to the hospital on Boxing Day. U.S., you don't have a Boxing Day. We have Christmas, that's all. Christmas, New Year's. Here they have Boxing Day. So it was a few days before Christmas. We were with one of her friends, regular friends, a good friend. And she's practically limping around. And we still don't know what it is. 2 years later. Anyway, then we go into the hospital, Boxing Day, and there's practically no one there because it's Christmas week, Christmas to New Year's, half the staff. We were there for days before they finally called us in. Stage 4 cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. That was what was there in her hip. Her bone was literally just falling apart, causing all kinds of pain. So now they're ready to do something, chemotherapy, all this stuff, and they make you feel like if you don't do it, you're going to die. So it was a very difficult decision. She did one chemotherapy. She wouldn't do any more. She said after the chemotherapy, next day she's in bed and she looked at Krishna and he kind of just melted in front of her. And me, she was struggling to remember who I was. Imagine. She said, no more. That was January. Of course, I told you January. So then it comes to about middle of January. Because of the chemotherapy, she developed sepsis. So now we're here, living in our little place there in Bushy. She has a fever, like 40 degrees, 41. Now she's already lost her hair. We shaved her head. She's just dying. We discussed it. Hey, she was ready to go. I said, okay. Wasn't an easy thing to say, okay. If that's what you're ready to do, I support you. So then, as that days went by, not eating anything. Even if she drank a little something, I always had the little bowl there waiting. She would gag it up. Nothing would even stay down. But because of the chemotherapy, you become anything. You breathe in anything. You're very dangerous. And that's what happened. So it looked like she was going to die that night. So in the afternoon, the word went out here in Bhaktivedanta Manor, this community. You guys have a community here. Take care of each other. Don't neglect anyone. So they start coming, over 100 devotees. We have one that were doing kirtan upstairs. We were downstairs, little room. I'm sitting right on her bed. She's lying in the bed, glassy-eyed, dehydrated from the fever. But she's happy. She thinks she's going to be leaving soon. Then it got to the point we asked everyone to leave. Too much commotion was going on. And I'm sitting next to her on the bed. And she closed her eyes and started laughing. And she opened her eyes. I said, "What happened?" She said, "Oh, I just saw Srila Prabhupada standing before her, garland on." She said, "He told me he loved me." She said, "I always thought he was disgusted with me. But he said he loved me." She was happy seeing him. He came, he appeared to her that day, afternoon. Then she closes her eyes again. External consciousness gone, just closed her eyes. And she's giggling. She's dying, but she's giggling. She's not crying. And she's in pain. No painkillers. And she opened her eyes. Now I have a pencil and paper. I said, "What happened?" She said, "Oh, I don't know," she said. She was a very humble girl. She had a very difficult life. Together we had a very wonderful life, but until then it was difficult, right? She said, "I just saw two boys." She said, "I don't know, it seemed like I was in a place that looked like Mayapur, but it wasn't Mayapur like I know, but it looked like Mayapur." She says, "And these two boys were there." She said, "And one of them started laughing. They were both smiling and laughing. And the one said, 'It's not your time yet.' And they ran off." She said, "Maybe it was Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. I don't know." Then she closed her eyes again. She fell out again. She opened them again after laughing, smiling, laughing. I said, "What happened this time?" She said, "I don't know." She said, "I just saw this blue boy." She said, "Beautiful place, beautiful forest, flowers, birds, everything." She said, "I don't know." And he looked at me and said the same thing. "It's not your time yet." And he ran away. So we're sitting there together, thinking. Her sons called the doctor to come check her out. He made a house call. Imagine, a doctor made a house call. Came in and did some tests, checked her temperature. And he said, "You're not dying," he said, "because of cancer." He said, "You're dying because of sepsis." He says, "Overtaken your body." He said, "You can treat that." He said, "We'll take you to the hospital." He said, "We can give you, heavy antibiotics." I forget what it was called. Sip or something or other, one of the heaviest stuff. And we'll get rid of that sepsis. And she looked at him, kind of a smile, and she said, "Can you take care of me?" And he looked at her. He said, "Oh, I can't do that." She was saying, "Can you just help me have a peaceful death?" She was ready to go. I said it was okay. You want to go? It's time to go. Well, it was a difficult decision I ever made. But she was ready. Had to be ready. So another couple hours, he left because she didn't want to go. She said, "I don't want to go to the hospital." It was just like hearing Srila Prabhupada saying the same thing. "Don't take me to the hospital." That's what she said. A few more hours go by. Now, 3 sons are there, hers adult sons. They're now all 30 years old or so. They didn't want to see mom gone. So they arrange midnight, ambulance come. A man and a woman all dressed up in their EMC outfits, emergency. They look like soldiers or something. All the stuff they had on. And she sees them, she gets an anxiety. Who are they? Who are they? But her sons were insisted she had to go to the hospital. We get in the ambulance together. We go right there, Watford General. She goes unconscious. About 8 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up, surrounded by some of her family. 1 or 2 of her very close friends were there, I remember. And she looks at us. Her fever went down. They brought it down. It was right there where you die. I don't know, 42 degrees or something like that. And in Fahrenheit, it's like 107, 108 degrees. Finished. So it was right to that level that night. But then she was okay. Not okay, but she was alive and the fever was down. And she sees us standing there. First words that came out of her mouth. See the title there of that book? She said, I have relevance. She never thought she had relevance. She thought Prabhupada was disgusted with her. She said, I'm relevant because Krishna loves me. She had an experience. She was a very different person. She wasn't in her body for like the next 4 or 5 days. She was a different person. She said, if Krishna doesn't love us, why would he have sent his pure devotee? Why would he have given us all these books? All came from his pure devotee if he didn't love us. And then she looked at all of us standing there. We're like mystified. We're feeling bad. She said, don't feel sorry for me. She said, I feel sorry for you. You're all going to have to go through this, she said. Like all these simple realizations, things she realized came out of her. But as Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, it wasn't her time yet. She got a little bit better, took her home. Over the next 3 months, she was in and out of the hospital. This thing, that thing, came back. She hated to go to the hospital. We went to the hospital, and we bring her home. She was home for 3 months. Suffered in that body so much. Practically never took any painkillers the whole time. And her body, her bones were literally just cracking under her. I could tell you things that happened. Well, they're kind of in the book there. Not that I'm promoting it. Doesn't matter. It was 15 years ago. Three months. She got a lot of realizations in those 3 months. And during those 3 months, she paid her price to enter the spiritual world. She suffered. She never complained. Couldn't tolerate, never complained. I had to do everything. Just like I did with Srila Prabhupada in 1970. I had to carry her to the bathroom. Had to bathe her. I had a little cushion, little swimming pool cushion I would put in the bathtub so she could sit down without too much pain. It was very terrifying 3 months. I cooked for her. I did everything, even though she could barely eat. She earned her way. So the last week she went into the hospice. We went by there just yesterday. I forget the name of the hospice. St. Francis Hospice. Catholic hospice. Everyone in that hospice, all women. Because they know how to take care. Men can be a little rough. One man in the whole place, he was in the kitchen. After 3 days, she went out of external consciousness. We're there every day. We're sitting 24 hours. Devotees are coming. Now they're coming. Now they care. Struggles in our whole life, people aren't caring so much, but now they care. We have a devotee here now, almost died a few weeks ago. I've been here a few days. We visited him 3 times in the last 4 days. My godbrother, Prabhupada's disciple. He helped build this place, helped pay for this place. Always says to me, I'm a nobody. And then there's a but. He said, but no one's come to see me. You have a community here. You don't wait. You know what? You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow, as it says in the Bible. You have a duty. Prabhupada, to talk about caretaking. His whole ISKCON society was about caretaking. From the very first day, that's all he did was take care of his disciples. Constantly. I'm here because I have a realization how he took care of me. When I was sick, he saw I was taken care of. When I was cold, he gave me shirts and blankets and sweaters and even socks from his own feet. I said, I can't take those socks. He said, if I say you can take them, it's okay. I said, yes, Prabhupada. I was happy to take those socks, put them on my feet. He gave me permission. Took care of me all the time. I had a child. He gave me bangles, silver bangles for his ankle bells. Gave me little silver bracelets, whatever, for his wrist. Later on, he gave me money for my son. Said, I can't take it. He said, it's for your son. That's why I'm here, because Prabhupada takes care. I want to do something. Part of that is I want to tell you, take care of one another. Take care of Srila Prabhupada. He's given you everything. He's given you this holy place, one of the most special places in the whole world. She was unconscious. I took care of her. I lived in the hospital sometimes, would sleep on that floor. Watford General Hospital, nasty place. I was lucky I didn't die there, spending day and night in there. In the morning when the shift changed, they have 12-hour shifts. Nurses, they all have 12-hour shifts. Every day would change, just like greeting at a deity time. 7 in the morning, shift change. The new shift would come in, they would want to change their sheets, and they'd have to move her fragile body. And she'd say, no, my husband does it, and he's better than you. That's how much I took care. He's better than you, she said. She was so proud, so happy. Someone taking care of her. Most important time of our life. Then in the hospice, she's there for 3 days. Oh, it was a wonderful, wonderful place. They don't give you any medicines anymore, because they know you're going to die soon, sooner than later. Had her eyes closed for a couple days. One day she woke up, and she looked at me. And her body was contorted. She was in pain. She said, move me. And I said, I'll go get the nurses to help. All of a sudden, this voice came out of her. Didn't sound like it was her. Really didn't. And it said, you know what to do. And I did. And I did it by myself. And she went back out of consciousness, external consciousness. But the voice, I don't know where it came from. It wasn't her voice. She wasn't in that shape. But it said, you know what to do. We all know what to do. When are we going to be ready to do it? When do we stop ignoring what Super Soul tells us to do? We always know what to do. If you have any common sense at all, any brain up there in the head at all, you know what to do. And I knew what to do, and I still know what to do. And I'm still trying to do it. So then, word goes around, even Radhanath Swami hears about it. He's in India. This was 2010, April. Do you know what happened during that time? 1 week, no airplanes. There was a volcano, right? A volcano in Iceland. I think there's one happened or should happen anytime. The sky was dark everywhere, clouds. It was wonderful. You didn't hear a plane. You didn't see a plane for a week. Radhanath Swami heard she was dying. I talked to him. He said, I have one disciple. It was a wealthy disciple. He's flying me on business to South Africa. He said, then he's taking me to Bhaktivedanta Manor. He came here to see a Mekhala from India by way of Africa. He came here to be with her at the time of death. I know he's gone and spent that time with many different people that were dying, just sitting there chanting Hare Krishna, sitting on the floor chanting japa before them. He did it with her. He arrived the night before. Then it got late. He went home. He said, anything happens, call me right away. I said, yes, Maharaj. A very dear friend. And then I've been up, of course, every day, all day, every day. I get tired. And I said, I'm going to take rest. I had a godbrother look at me. He said, what happens if she leaves now, takes her last breath while you're sleeping? I said, she won't do it while I'm sleeping. I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I thought it. But I was convinced that we were so close, she wouldn't leave if I wasn't there. And I went and took rest. 5 hours later or so, banging on the door. Her heartbeat had elevated, 5 a.m. She's going to be leaving soon. I went back in, called Maharaj. She left very auspicious time. It was during, what's it called? Month? Purushottama month. And she left at the junction of Mangala and sunrise. And she left on the day when Bhishma Dev left his body on a bed of arrows. And I said, this girl laid on a bed of arrows for over a year. She laid on a bed of arrows. And then Krishna took her. Just peacefully, she was gone. Then her eldest son, who was one of my big helpers, he went and took rest. Hour later, he comes back out. He said, I just saw Mom. In his dream, he just saw Mom. She was jumping up and down, he said, in kirtan, jumping like way up in the sky, coming down, and said to him, now I can dance all I want. She could hardly move. But she had left that body. People, different people around the world, they were waking up while she was leaving. They didn't know why. One of my good friends where we used to go at St. Lucia, she woke up 2 a.m. She started reading Bhagavad Gita. She felt so empty inside. Then she realized what happened later. She was loved by everyone. You know why? All she wanted to do was take care of the children and the mothers, because she saw the difficulties that they were going through, because she went through them herself, both with herself and with her children. All she wanted to do was try to make them, somehow give them peace in their life. So many people were chanting. And then, of course, for me, it was a big, big struggle. It was 24 hours later. Of course, I was crying. And then I get a letter, an email from a devotee lady. I think it was Slovakia, Slovenia, one of those places. She had some psychic, disciple of Jayapataka Swami. She had some psychic abilities. She could see the baby in the room, tell you. She saw a Mekhala 2008. She wanted to talk to her. She had healing powers. She wanted to do something, but a Mekhala wasn't into those kind of things. She said, no, it's okay. Because we didn't know what was happening. But she said, I saw something there. I don't know what it was. But that's what it was. So she writes, it's all broken English. She said she was in the kitchen making sweets for Sankirtan, Harinam. And she has a voice calling her. She looks in the bedroom. This is subtle plane. She sees a Mekhala sitting on the bed. Not physical, sitting on the bed, but she said she saw her. And she called her. She called her over. She went. And she said she told her, Mekhala said to her, I was confused. She said, but then I heard the chanting of the holy name. And then while she's talking to her, and the Mekhala said, tell Srutikirti to stop crying. She said, this is what we've lived our whole life waiting to do. Tell him it's okay. Tell him I'm fine. Tell him to stop. That's what she said. How could I not believe every word she said? Because it was a fact. We talked about it. We would say when the time comes, we're out of here. No medicines, no blood transfusions, no this, no that. She said, I did it. That's what she told this girl. No one else knew any of these things. This was between her and I. But she's repeating it to me. And then Prabhupada came. She saw Prabhupada come, had a little briefcase. Prabhupada says there's an accountant, right? Taking accounting of everything we do in this life. Prabhupada said Krishna has an accountant. Anyway, Prabhupada came, took her by the hand, and they left. Over the next month, she saw her a few times. Different things happened. Can't talk about it. Some things I wrote in there. But, and she was gone. That was it. The reason I'm saying all this process works. Don't think I'm chanting Hare Krishna, following principles, working so hard, I don't feel anything. When the time of death comes, there'll be an accounting. She had kids when they were young. She would go to Ireland, take them on padiyatras, always took them. She didn't care what they did as long as they were devotees. That was what she wanted. She wanted them to be devotees. And she did everything she could to see that they were devotees in difficult situations. Wasn't easy. Not easy for many. Definitely not easy for many ladies, girls in the society, to be appreciated for the services you do. Prabhupada appreciates. And the time will come. And one of those times, Prabhupada came to this girl, and he showed her a book. And he said the devotees should write about devotees' successes when they leave their body, that people need to hear about it. Not to think nothing's happening. It's happening. The program, the process works. Like they say in the 12-step program, you have to work it. You got to do the job. Not just make believe, not some show. All the time. We're trying to do a little bit at this time. I know I don't have a lot of time left. None of us know. Prabhupada would say, none of us know. Today, tomorrow, anyone could be gone. You don't want to come back to this place. He showed her the book. I was already writing it. After she left, I sat down. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to glorify her. I already thought about it. Wanted to praise, at least the time I was with her. I didn't know her. Only 7, 8 years I really knew her. But I knew what she was. All she wanted to do was please Srila Prabhupada. And she got to see it. He came to her and told her. And when time was short, he said, go and accept all invitations to preach. And that's what we did right up until couldn't accept any more. That's what we did. So that's our business. Somehow or other, serve Srila Prabhupada, serve his mission, follow the program he gave us, and your life will be a success. And believe me, time goes by very fast. 50 years ago I was here. Whew, gone. 15 years ago since I last... It was amazing to think 15 years had gone by. Anyway, it did. So I didn't know what to say. Sadhu Sangha, I certainly had association. And when it first happened, when we didn't know, but she couldn't do things, and I was cooking for her, I was doing everything, running up and down. We lived in a second floor, first floor, ground floor. Sometimes bedroom was on second floor. I'd have to run up and down stairs doing things. I wasn't happy about it. I thought, I'm a preacher, and now I'm just taking care of my wife. And one day, I was preparing a lunch for her. I haven't had many, these realizations, like all of a sudden, poof, and I had a realization. She's not just my wife, she's Prabhupada's daughter. That's the exact thought I had. It's Prabhupada's daughter. She's my god sister, and my service is to take care of her. And from that time, I never questioned anything I did again, and I was happy to take care of her. I had been given that assignment, just like I was assigned, take care of Prabhupada. Now he said, okay, you're good at that. You take care of this girl. She's going to be going soon, huh? All these things I learned so much about caretaking. All of our business is caretaking. Caretake of one another. Go out in the streets, try to take care of these people. Tell them, chant Hare Krishna. This is what we do. Take care of each other. Told you, every day I just wanted to see my God. He had a change like that. I brought his Prabhupada's slippers. We put them on his head. His wife swears it was Prabhupada's slippers on his head. Just gave him some life. So anyway, anyone have any questions, comments? Hare Krishna, Prabhu, yes. Hare Krishna.
Sharing such personal memories. And something that you were mentioning that you would dream of Srila Prabhupada. And I'm curious to know what was your most memorable dream or personal dream of Srila Prabhupada?
What?
What was the most significant dream of Srila Prabhupada that you had?
That I had? I've had different types. I've had dreams where he hasn't even left. Very dreamlike, and I'm still his servant. They're very sweet dreams, because I'm just his servant and he's here. Some of them are even funny. But the most significant thing I had was many years ago. It happened twice in the course of a couple months, way back in the 90s. And like Mekhala saw him, just like that, he just appeared before me, and as soon as I saw him, I understood. He's come. He'd gone and he's come. And I fell at his feet, did dandavats, and I literally just crying on his feet, holding his lotus feet. And I looked up at him and he said, don't worry, everything will be all right. And I woke up 4 a.m. Some months later, the very same thing happened. And I fell at his feet. And of course, I got very emotional, crying, and I looked at him, and he looked at me. And he said, take a stand. Yes, that confused me too. I woke up, told my wife, Prabhupada told me to take a stand. Do you know what that means? Take a stand, it means don't just sit back and watch everything crumble around you. Take a stand. Speak for the truth. Speak for me. Like you would say, you know what to do. You said that to me in a letter. You were my servant. You know what to do. When they asked me to be temple president, Prabhupada said, yes, he's been with me. He knows what to do. And you can trust him. Trust, imagine. One of the most wonderful things he said about me. So that was back, 30 years ago. So I thought, taking a stand, traveling around, one of the things I always want to do is say, everything is coming from Srila Prabhupada. You can have your initiating guru do this and that. He's your Shiksha guru, most important person in your life, Prabhupada. And whatever agency you're serving him through. You're serving him in his society. So that's one stand I try to bang on everyone's head when they think so many other things, and push him in the back. Push him so far back you don't even see him, don't even think about him. But now, we've been living in Vrindavan for 5 years. I see there's another stand that I feel I should take. And it involves his home there in Vrindavan, seeing that his deities are taken care of to the, as Prabhupada would say, summit cleanliness, summit level of worship. Everything first class, first class. And we're striving for that. And we're working on that. And work needs to be done, because I saw Prabhupada, when he installed deities, you have to understand it's Krishna. Not just some marble form on the altar. He's not just some form there on the Vyasa. They're there. Krishna's there. Prabhupada said Krishna can talk to you. You can talk to him and he can talk back. But you have to qualify yourself. And if we go on the altar not understanding that, doing this, doing that, then it shows we have no realization of who we're dealing with. In this whole society, if we don't do things understanding, we're dealing with Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So anyway, at this point in my life, it took me a long time being there. I've taken on more and more service. And just recently, and I said to her, she dragged me to Vrindavan. This young woman here, you think she's just some young pretty girl? She's much, much more than that. She brought me to Vrindavan. So now I'm there and I finally realize Prabhupada's giving me the opportunity to be his personal servant again, in his home, with his deities in his home. You understand? 50 years later, I get to be personally serving him. We're all personally serving him, but we have to figure out what that means and how we can do it, and how carefully we can do it. So now I'm trying to balance these two things. Traveling somewhat, sometimes, being in Vrindavan, there at his home, and serving him personally, always serving him personally, because that's all I know. And that's all any of you should know. It's not for 1, 2 people. Everyone in ISKCON, you're serving Srila Prabhupada personally. So be very, very careful what you do and how you do it. Careful, attentive. They'd always ask me, being Prabhupada's servant, what does it mean? What's important? I say, you have to be attentive. And he taught me that. Because as soon as you were inattentive, one way or another, he'd let you know how to be attentive. Okay. Okay. Yes, Mataji.
How much is the book? How much is the book?
There's a little guy here. If you can give a donation of 10 rupees or so, that'd be very nice. 10 pounds. 10
Okay.
10 rupees, 10 pounds. 10 pounds. And this one's 20. We have a few left. The rest I'm bringing to Leicester when we leave tomorrow morning. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Shri Shri Gauranitai ki jai. Gaura Premanandi. Okay. So I think at this point, 9 o'clock, we're supposed to close up this program. So I think one young man has a table out there. So both these books are out there. Anyone interested? If you're not, that's okay. Like I say, they're all going to Leicester tomorrow. But anyone want to say something here? Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.